July 2025 marked a grim turning point in Balochistan's conflict, as a wave of violence shattered a brief calm and signaled a dangerous escalation. The month began with a chilling bus ambush. Masked gunmen executed 9 non-Baloch passengers, targeting settlers and government workers. Soon after, Mastung district saw a major assault. Insurgents besieged a central police station for hours, killing over a dozen officers and exposing deep security failures. In response, the military launched Operation BAM, deploying thousands of troops and air power to dismantle insurgent networks. Yet, reports of civilian casualties and disappearances quickly surfaced, fueling local resentment and complicating the mission. The insurgents' ability to strike both civilian and military targets with precision revealed a conflict spiraling out of control. The state's overwhelming force perpetuated a cycle of violence, deepening political and social divides. Without a fundamental shift in strategy, Balochistan remains trapped in endless warfare, its people caught in the crossfire. Balochistan's strategic location, bordering Iran, Afghanistan, and the Arabian Sea, makes it vital for Pakistan and global trade. Its deep-sea port, Gwadar, is a linchpin for the China-Pakistan economic corridor, promising billions in investment. Beneath its arid surface lie vast reserves of gas, copper, gold, and more, yet the province's people remain among Pakistan's poorest. Decades of resource extraction have brought little benefit to locals, fueling resentment and insurgency. Projects like CPEC are seen as symbols of exploitation, with locals excluded from planning and profits. Infrastructure and basic services lag far behind, despite the province's immense wealth. Chronic underdevelopment and marginalization have turned Balochistan's riches into a curse. The disconnect between potential and reality breeds deep grievances. Here, the curse of riches is not a metaphor, it's a daily struggle. Baloch nationalism is rooted in a history of broken promises and perceived occupation, beginning with the controversial annexation of the Khanate of Kalat in 1948. Baloch nationalists see themselves as a distinct people denied sovereignty and control over their resources. Gas and mineral wealth flow out while local communities remain impoverished and underdeveloped. Political and cultural marginalization, decisions made in Islamabad's suppression of Baloch identity, fuel the desire for self-determination. The state's response has been coercive, labeling demands for autonomy as treason and meeting dissent with force. Each crackdown creates new martyrs, hardening the resolve for armed struggle and pushing moderates aside. The July 2025 attacks were orchestrated by a new generation of Baloch separatist groups, led by the Baloch Liberation Army and the Balochistan Liberation Front. The BLA, now a sophisticated urban guerrilla force, claimed the Mastung police station assault as retaliation against state forces. The BLF, active in southern districts, targeted non-Baloch civilians to instill fear and disrupt state-backed projects like CPEC. These groups have formed alliances such as BRS to coordinate attacks and pool resources. Today's insurgents are educated, media-savvy, and ideologically driven, expanding their targets to include Chinese workers and non-Baloch civilians. Their radicalization reflects a belief that only uncompromising violence can achieve independence. The July attacks showed a new level of planning and brutality, signaling a dangerous evolution in the conflict. The July violence exposed the deepening ethnic divide in Balochistan, as insurgents targeted non-Baloch civilians to drive out settlers. This strategy has devastated the province's social fabric, forcing teachers, doctors, and workers to flee and leaving essential services crippled. The exodus deepens mistrust and fractures once diverse communities, making reconciliation harder. Ethnic tensions extend beyond Baloch Punjabi lines, straining relations with Pashtuns and exacerbating sectarian violence against Hazaras. Heavy-handed state responses, often by non-Baloch security forces, reinforce the us versus them narrative. The result is a vicious cycle. Ethnic violence provokes state crackdowns, which in turn fuel further resentment and insurgency. The state's answer to July's attacks was Operation BAM, a massive military crackdown prioritizing force over dialogue. While some militant leaders were killed, the root grievances remained unaddressed. Enforced disappearances and the kill-and-dump policy have terrorized Baloch communities, driving many toward militancy. Security operations often involve indiscriminate tactics, collective punishment, and daily harassment at checkpoints. Development packages are announced but rarely benefit locals, undermined by corruption and lack of political will. The contradiction is stark. Promises of progress coexist with repression and fear. Heavy-handed measures alienate the population, making intelligence gathering and peace-building nearly impossible. Without a rights-based approach, neither security nor development can succeed. Both state and insurgent strategies are locked in a destructive cycle, each fueling the other's failures. Insurgents' brutal attacks alienate potential allies and justify harsh military responses, but have not achieved independence or halted projects like CPEC. The state's reliance on force and repression only deepens nationalist sentiment and perpetuates violence. Each military operation and disappearance recruits more to the insurgency. The real disease, political grievance, remains untreated. Neither side can win militarily. The people of Balochistan pay the price. Continuing these failed strategies is not just ineffective, it's a moral catastrophe. International relations theories shed light on Balochistan's crisis. Neo-Realism sees the conflict as a struggle for power and security. Baluchistan's resources and location are vital for Pakistan's survival. Constructivism highlights clashing identities, Baloch nationalism versus a centralized Pakistani state. Post-Colonialism frames the relationship as internal colonialism, Islamabad extracting resources while Balochistan remains marginalized. These perspectives explain why military and economic solutions alone have failed. The state's strategic imperatives, the Baloch sense of historical injustice, and the legacy of exploitation all collide here. Development projects like CPEC are seen as impositions, not opportunities. Only by understanding these layered dynamics can a path forward be found. July 2025 must be a turning point. Balochistan needs a new approach. The first step is genuine, inclusive political dialogue involving all stakeholders, including estranged nationalist leaders and civil society. The state must end enforced disappearances, release political prisoners, and demilitarize key areas to build trust. Human rights protection is essential for lasting peace. Economic justice means local communities must benefit from their resources with transparent revenue sharing and investment in education, healthcare, and jobs. Governance must be devolved, empowering local bodies and ensuring transparency. Security should shift from blunt force to intelligence-led lawful operations. Only a comprehensive approach, dialogue, rights, economic justice, and good governance, can break the cycle of violence and offer hope for Balochistan's future.